What's up, guys? This is 2Sanity, and let's go ahead and run through the next build. This is going to be Stamina Dragonite, and this is easy access. So this is for all my friends who don't have Magma, you don't have Markin, you don't have all these Mythics and all these like super cool rallying sets and all this stuff. This build is for you. Super easy. I literally farmed almost all of it in a day. Some of it I already had like 2 pieces. But let's go ahead and get into it. Let's do the stats first. Let's look at the stats. Just unbuffed. That's the back bar. It's unbuffed. No continuous attack, nothing like that. It's the front bar. Okay. Now let's go ahead and buff up. We hit a little buff. Ooh, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Let's even hit our normal potion. And just face value. 26k on the resistances, 2700 on that, 6100 weapon damage. 27% on the weapon critical. Penetration comes from the corrosive, which we get rapidly, like just super fast. Okay, really high stamina, which turns into weapon power. Okay, we have a lot of stam. It turns into a lot of damage. Even cranks up the tooltips on like everything. Super good. Okay, so let's go ahead and next we're going to get into the character sheet a little bit. So I am a Nord, which contributes to me getting my ult back really fast. I have blood spawn, obviously you probably saw over here, so I'm getting the ult really fast. Okay, I'm going with the warrior. Okay, the food is pack leader's bone broth. Okay, really high stam, really high health, really good stuff. Okay, stage 3 vampire, and it looks like we have some kind of buff. Ooh, we get a little buff from something. Doesn't really affect the stats that much though. Okay, so what else? Let's go into the consumables. Go to consumables, and this is what we're rocking. Well, you know the food, but let me show you these potions right here. These potions right here, they're just incredible. They're extremely expensive, so I only use them for like just emergency situations. Need to get out, or I need to build up that ult real quick for that, for that moment. These are what I use, but for the most part, I just use a tri-stat. Here it is, right here. So that's the potions. That's the potions, the food, right? Okay. And then over here we have the poison right here. Immobilize your target. So it immobilizes them when you go offensive. Also, it keeps you from getting like stunned or whatever while you're doing your burst. I learned this from the Lordy shout out. And then reduce your damage taken from crit by 10%, as well as increasing your critical rating. So your crit's going to go up even further than 27. Probably be like what, like 35, 32, something like that. Okay. And then also your armor. Your armor is going to go up higher too. Forgot to mention that. It's 26, but it pretty much stays at 30k because of the sets, which we're going to get into now. Let's get into the sets. Okay. First one's going to be blood spawn. 2-piece blood spawn. I want most of the stuff to be in pen, but the 3 I don't is this. I already had this. That's why I know you don't have high key Joes and all that stuff, but just do like health or something, that's fine. I wanted this to be reinforced with just heavy reinforced, okay? And then in pen. Next is going to be our 5-piece set, Ancient Dragon Guard. This is 400 weapon damage, health, critical rating, and if we go lower than 50% health and that blood spawn, which is pretty much always procced, right? Then you have like what, 33k. You have 33k, 33.3k armor. Super strong, right? Okay, that's going to be on the chest and the legs. This needs to be reinforced. Okay, all the big pieces reinforced, and reinforced. I just had these pieces already. Those are the ones I was mentioning. Okay, so that's going to be it for those. And then right here, I had a friend just make me these. I farmed up a few things. I literally did all this in a day. I didn't have this stuff already. I went and farmed the stuff in a day to make sure that this is like a thing that could actually be done in a day. Okay, for the most part. Okay, and I went ahead and he went ahead and made these for me. Okay, boom, 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 all infused, all weapon damage, same as the Mundus. You see what I mean? And how can we support this? Well, here comes the next set. Now this next set is pretty awesome. I love this next set. It is the stamina version of Olarim, and people just sleep on it. You ready? Bone Pirates Taters. And people are like, wait, no, what? No. This gives you 399 weapon power worth of stamina while giving you 260 stam recovery. It's almost identical to the value and what you would get from um, Olarim. Okay, so we're gonna do 1, 2, 3 on the body. 1, 2, 3, easy farmable set, right? All impen, okay, stamina glyphs, right? And then we're gonna do the weapons. I went and farmed this. I farmed this dungeon in the same day that I did all of this. I did the farming, and I farmed this thing probably about 40 times realistically to get both of these weapons. But I did it in a day, and it's easy access. It's just like anyone has access to that dungeon. You see what I mean? So I got the restoration staff on the back bar, bone pirates, right? This is going to be infused, right? This is going to give me more weapon damage when I heavy attack to get my major mending through restoration and get my mag back, right? Manual mag sustain on this because we have a couple mag moves, right? So as we're doing that, we're getting the heavy attack, which increases the ability we have on the bar for that skill line, for restoration skill line, right? And then for the 2H, we're using Nirnhoned Greatsword. We're just trying to get that high weapon damage value, okay? Because we're getting all that penetration through corrosive. So you just want to build that as high as you can for the healing, for the damage. It's the way to go, okay? So that's it. I think we covered all the set pieces. You can see all the set pieces right there. Okay, everything looks good. So yeah, so the when you go offensive, I already said this, but when you go offensive, make sure you have that on the front bar. You want to make sure you don't get rooted or anything, okay, or stunned. So we did that. Went over the two potions that we used, the main one and the emergency potion, which is for heroism and speed because we don't have major expedition on the build. So this kind of gives you that speed to get out of tight situations. It works. I've done it. Okay. All right, let's get into the skills next. Let's go into the skills. So I guess we'll start with the back bar. That's fine. So the back bar, we have radiating regeneration. So I don't have like, wretched vitality or something that gives me an insane amount of like mag recovery for my stam DK. So I pretty much just do like heavy attacks. Like I'm constantly doing heavy attacks with resto in between a lot of my abilities because I'm trying to constantly proc that 450 weapon damage, the major mending, as well as something else I forgot. But yeah, so I'm constantly using it. So I'm constantly getting all that mag back, and I'll use that and spam like this a couple times if maybe I've roll dodged a bunch out of a big huge clinch or something. So it kind of works really good. I love it. It works better than the bow. That's why I went with restoration staff. So restoration staff, radiating regeneration. I went with this morph because I don't want the short one. I want this one that kind of heals longer, keeps the heal on me longer, and I don't have to cast it as much. Vigor, I want the powerful heal. Obviously, I don't want to do the same thing with this. I want the more powerful heal. Cinderstorm, that's like a really super strong heal that's also proccing brutality, your brutality ult and stam as well. You can hit this a couple times if you want, like 1, 2, 3. Hit it like 2, 3 times real quick, and it'll give you a bunch of stam back. You really don't need it. The stam recovery on here is like really good. Probably because I use this a lot. Volatile armor, that's your armor buff, and it also does the dot. Okay. Venom Claw, that's going to be your main dot. You want to leave it on as long as possible. It gets really strong. Okay, and then your Corrosive, that's going to be your main ultimate. You're going to get it really fast because you're a Nord, you're a Dragonite, you're using the heroism poisons for the most part. If you really needed that Corrosive, you're going to get the Corrosive when you want it. It's like almost on demand. Like I almost always have it. Most of the time, I'm waiting with a corrosive for the right moment to line up my burst on somebody. You know what I mean? Like, it's constantly up. So let's go to the front bar. So we got Noxious Breath. I tried this bar a bunch of different ways. This is just kind of the best. I'm not really using it for the breach. I'm using it kind of for the dot, I guess, right? Whatever. We got the dot. But really it's kind of to get the stacks on my Molten Whip. So we got Noxious Breath. We got Rally. So that's another burst heal because we're not running Carderize, okay? It's another burst heal if I need it, right? So we got a burst heal and our weapon damage buff. We got Flames of Oblivion. This is gonna do a lot of damage. This has like a 13k. I think it has like a 13k tooltip when I like buff up everything. I don't have a tool. I don't have like a continuous attack. I have no buffs or anything on, so this thing goes up like ridiculously high. Okay, Molten Whip, super strong. I don't spam it. I pretty much only use it when I line up the proc, the burst, everything. I just kind of hit him with it. Okay, Executioner. I want you to use Reverse Slice. Okay, it's way better. I'm using Executioner because I'm ballsy and I like to like really put people away. So that's why I put this. You can make up your own mind what you want to use for the morph. And I use Dawnbreaker. I don't use this for the actual ult. I use this just to increase the weapon damage on the front bar. I wanted more Fighters Guild abilities. I just couldn't put them on and have it. I put them on, and the weapon damage was way higher, healing was way higher, everything was way crazier, but it just wasn't practical because I had to have like Dizzy Swing, camo. It just wasn't practical because you need that instant. But when you go corrosive, you need to like boom. You need to like insta hit them with that proc to like do the damage. You can't go corrosive and just start trying to cast a D swing. It just wasn't working. This is through trial and error. This is what just had to be. It was just perfect this way. Okay. So that's everything. I do have Undaunted. So your health and everything will be a little bit lower. So I recommend you'll probably, if you don't have Undaunted, of course, then definitely put a little bit less in the stam. Try to have maybe like 30k health for you, 29, 30k health for you, and then drop your stam to like 27. The reason I do this and even drop my health a little lower is because 33k stam translates into an insane amount of weapon power, which even increases my mag abilities for some reason. I don't know why. It's not supposed to. It's misbehaving. Because I tested it and it was increasing like my Carderize. I mean my Flames of Oblivion. I increased my stamina more and then dropped it and was doing that, and I was looking at my rapid regen and that was like going up and down dramatically. So my stam is increasing my magic abilities too, even though my highest offensive stat is weapon damage. So it's really trippy. Let's move on, guys. Let's go to the champion points. Okay. So the champion points, let's do it just like this. Start in the blue section. I usually have the healing perk on most of my builds. Pick that one up from the Lordy too. That was like an OG selection, but I'm not doing it for this one because the healing is just so strong already on the build, even with this not having all the mythics and stuff. So I went with Fight Finesse because we do have crit. That's increasing my healing and it's increasing my crit. Okay, and then I went with direct damage. So that's kind of like my two damage bubbles, and then this one is for my healing and my damage. So healing damage, damage. And then this one right here, I wasn't really too worried about the direct damage because I have so much like healing and so much like armor that I wasn't too much worried about like the direct damage because I have really high crit resist. I have almost 2800 crit resist and like 3300 armor at low health, like under 50. So with night blades and everything, this wasn't worth it. This was like, this is the better call for me. This, I've been so satisfied. I feel just so tanky. I'm like so tanky and like so like I just feel like, you know, it's a really strong build. I don't know why. Okay. So that's it. So we got that. That's going to increase your healing, right? Damage, boom, damage, healing, boom. Got the direct damage. Go over here, the red section. Got armor. This is like an absolute must. It just automatically breaks you free and pretty much like you kind of run around, and people aren't really good with like CC cooldowns on people in combat. They're constantly doing buffs or trying to sustain, do all these different things, or so they're not really keeping on it. So it's almost like that 21 seconds is like how often people actually try to stun you. So it works perfect. I think the Lordy said it's like 370 STAM recovery worth at a constant rate of proc. So really strong. Next, boom. Pain's Refuge, 20%, because we don't have any purge or anything like that, so just might as well get the most of mitigation. Dots stacked it up really fast. People are constantly putting dots and all kinds of things on you, which procs your blood spawn too, like almost immediately. And then the last one, so that one, Slippery, the Pain's Refuge, and the last one is, of course, we need a little bit of speed, because we're not running any Swift, and we're not really running speed unless we pop our clutch heroism pot with speed, hit that, and we run and just juke out of there. That's 40% speed. Get the hell out of Dodge. It's really fun. I posted a clip on Facebook on the Xbox page already. It was pretty dope. So next is just a green section. Nothing really important in there. Just fill out some of this stuff right here. Just good to fill out some of the other stuff here. Boom. That's it. Armor, Slippery, 20% mitigation, and then we got the heal. I mean, not the heal, the speed. You know what I mean? It's really fun build. So let me give you some tips real quick. I guess we'll finish off with the tips. Tips would be constantly keep your rapid regen up. One thing is this right here. This cinder thing, it'll really pull at your mag. So don't, like, if you're fine, don't just throw it down. Throw that down as almost a replacement for like your burst heal. Like, I know you have to keep this up for your ult gen and your the stand back and all that stuff. But for the most part, what I've experienced is it really yanks at your mag. You can put the cost reduction, but since we're not doing like the magma and all this other stuff, this is just kind of the best way I've done it. So what I do is I just boom, I heavy attack a lot to get the major mending, which also gives me there's no one really around here. Is there someone over here so I can kind of pull on somebody? See if we can find somebody. Knock knock, hello. There's nobody really in here. But basically I just kind of like pull. I do a lot of pulling. And then if there's a bunch of people on me, then I'm hitting this a lot. Getting around a corner, right? Boom, get your buffs up. Get everything lined up. And you can switch to the speed if you got too many people on you. Or if it's just like 2 people and you're just banging it out and doing fine. Just keep up the mag with this right here. Works really, really good. Yeah, super fun. I like it. That's kind of the build. It's a work of art. I hope you like it. Let me know any problems you're having. If you have any questions, you're trying to figure it out more. Maybe I didn't explain something. Get down in the comment section. Let me know what you think. This is it. This is the build. I really like it. It's super strong. It's thick as fuck. It hits really, really hard, and the healing is really strong. It's a go-getter. Yeah, I appreciate you guys sticking around. This is probably the longest build video I've ever done. Appreciate you sticking around. I hope you really, really like the build. I really like the build. I keep hearing something, but I don't see him. Alright. Well, you guys take care. I appreciate all the support, all the likes, all the subs. It's meant a lot. And I'll keep pumping out stuff like this that helps you guys. Appreciate it. Bye-bye.